Mitchell. I'm a communications expert. I know some stuff about body language. I'm a certified forensic interviewer. And one of the things I love to do most on this channel and across all of my channels is sit down and have good conversations with people. And so this is part of my series of 7 questions for interesting people, where I promise to bring you people from all different experiences in life to just share a little bit of their insights and see if anything resonates with you, if you can learn anything, or maybe if something challenges you. I think that's okay too. And that's what we're doing here in this experience together. And today I have the very interesting Everett Stein on with me today. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, were you I mean, you do so many things. It's hard to even, I was thinking of how to introduce you. And I don't know if I'm the best one to do it. I think you're the best one to do it because you do different things. You play, like myself, you play in a lot of different spaces, and a lot of different things kind of bring you joy and interest you. So I'm just going to let you kind of introduce yourself here.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for allowing me to come on and be with you today. So you're right. I do multiple things, everything from volunteering my time as a reserve police officer in the town that I live in to being a former loss prevention retail executive. And also, I love talking to interesting people. So I also started a speakers bureau. So yes, I do a lot of things.
Yeah, I love it. And you are part of a powerhouse couple. I know your lovely wife, Celeste, has interests as vast and varied as you do. And I've had the benefit of getting to know both of you, at least in the professional realm over the last year or so. And, you know, I think there's something to be said for having a good partner. And you all seem to be a good complement, a good pair. So she has not gotten her invite yet to share her interesting elements, but she will. So if you want to give her a heads up on that, it's coming her way too. So I would love to know, just one of the things that I get questions about a lot, especially as I'm working with students or people maybe early in their career, is really getting a definition of what success looks like and feels like, because we have the things we're told to strive for and consider hallmarks of success. But I would really love to know kind of what is your personal definition of success, or what makes you feel most successful?
Well, I think, Lisa, that people get hung up on titles. But to me, I think success is being the best at whatever it is that you do. And if you're a trash man, be the best trash man that you can be. Or if you run a company, be the best. But also to realize that, you know, the people that you work with, that if you are a CEO of a company, realize that the people that you work with are the most important asset that you have. And if you don't move away from that thought process, I truly believe that you will be successful. No one makes it to the top alone. And so I feel like that you always have to remember people are the most important thing. How you treat them, how you handle them.
Yeah, people first. There's a common theme coming out in a lot of these interviews around relationship, and that being the surprising hallmark of success is, what do your relationships look like, and how are you treating people? And so I love that that's been your experience as well. And I think one of the other elements that comes with success, or that kind of follows the success question, is you walk into a lot of different situations, Everett. Like some of them are different levels of consequence, we'll say, right? Opportunity or consequence, given all the places that you play in. How do you build your confidence? Like, what is your confidence building routine before you get into a situation that might be considered stressful, or maybe something that's unknown, or maybe you're taking the stage as you're promoting your business? What is some of your confidence hacks or routines that you use?
So I think something very simple, to at least to me, Lisa, is I love to, before I have a big meeting, high stakes, I like to get up early, get my exercise in, run a few miles. That starts to really kind of level me out. And then once I'm done with that, then I come home, start getting myself together mentally, making my notes. And right before I walk into a room or I get on a Zoom call, I take that deep breath and start to really relax myself. That seems to help me. And obviously, everybody has their own routine. But I feel like being physically fit really, gets my mind right. And again, that's just my personal experience of what helps me.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, there's such a strong connection between confidence and how we feel taking up the space that we take up. And I think similarly to you, like part of my routine also is making sure that I feel good about how I'm physically showing up, right? And it's health and it's strength and it's just feeling good about how I look when I walk onto a stage or get onto a virtual interaction. So I love that you are highlighting the opportunity that you have with physical fitness, with caring for the physical and outside of yourself, and how strongly that can correlate to how you feel internally or intrinsically when you're walking onto a stage. So
yes.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's a great tip that anybody watching this can, start doing. Just, it doesn't have to be big and crazy. Just go take a walk.
Yes.
Yeah. Movement shifts energy. I know before an important call or something, or even just midday when my energy dips, I just go take a walk, and, it's amazing what even 10 or 15 minutes will do to just shift that energy and how I show up on the screen, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, kind of shifting gears here. What do you think when you look at everything that's going on today? And again, you're in a lot of different environments. You deal with a lot of different stakeholders. You're a family member and a community member. What do you think is the biggest scam or the biggest lie that society is being sold right now? What do you think we're buying into that we shouldn't?
Well, that to me is a very easy thing to answer, or easy question to answer, Lisa, because I think that we right now, it looks like that we are probably divided. In other words, we have more things. No, let me stop. So the biggest thing that I think that has divided us is the fact that the media could potentially make it appear that we have differences. And I really think at the end of the day, we have more things in common. And so I feel like that, right now with the things that, as you mentioned, that are going on in the world, COVID, it's really kind of separated us. But eventually, we have to come back together in unity and get out and start looking your friends eyeball to eyeball, and having those conversations and talking about sometimes difficult situations or having difficult conversations. I don't necessarily have to agree with everything that you agree on, Lisa. And that's okay. I don't want to have someone that agrees with everything that I present to them, and vice versa. And so I think that is the biggest thing that I can think of right now is that, we have more things that we are together on than not.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a very false narrative around how different we all are, which is part of the reason I'm doing this series with so many amazing and wonderfully different people, is that, we really are more alike than we are different. So I think that is definitely a false narrative that we need to be very aware of right now, because the consequences are high. Like and it's going to impact, not just us right now, but our children and the generations to come. So
yes,
we gotta start seeking some truth there. I am 100% with you on that journey. All right. What's the last thing or something recently that has brought you joy? Like, not just amusement, but like what what makes you joyful?
I think really, I'm a family man, and really seeing, my family accomplish big things. My wife, and she recently completed her doctorate after 5 long years. That brought me immense joy to see her finally reach her goal. My daughter graduated from college last year. My son, he's in Florida, and he's doing very well with his career. And so I love seeing other people be very successful, and especially, when, they're in my circle, my family, my friends. That gives me joy.
Yeah, you have a lot to be joyful about with your family. Like it's fun to see, and I creep on you from a distance on social media, and I'm cheering you on too. It's great to see. It's great to see that is a center of your joy, and I think regardless of what somebody's family relationships look like, some families are very difficult, some are very supportive. Like family is what you make it. So I think if you can
Yes.
find people that you can cheer on and be allies to, and know that they're cheering just as loudly for you, like that is a source of joy for a lot of people that
Right.
maybe isn't being leveraged as much as it could be right now. So I wasn't surprised at all to hear you say that it was your that it
Well,
was your family that brings you joy.
Well, you know what, Lisa? It takes nothing from me to cheer someone else on, whether it's a friend that got a promotion. Hey, there's enough for everybody out here. So for me, I don't have to harbor jealousy. Say, you know what, I would be a better fit for that situation than he or she. No, I want everybody to be successful that wants to be successful.
Yeah, I love it. There's plenty of room for everybody to be at the top, right? That's
Yes.
it's not a scarcity situation. There's joy and success enough for everybody. So um, I love that perspective, and I know from working with you, Everett, that's true, right? I've seen it in action. I know it's verified. What is one thing you deal with so many different people and in so many different situations, positive situations, maybe not so positive situations. What is one thing that you think kind of universally, if everybody did it, we would it would have the biggest positive impact in our lives today? If there's one thing that just every person could do or commit to doing, what do you think could shift things for the positive?
I would say love more.
Mm,
Love more. Just that simple.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I have nothing else to say to that, but yes.
Yeah,
Yes. It's hard to be separated from people if you just love them, right?
exactly. And, meet people where they're at, not where you think that they should be. Meet them on their level. And if there's something that you can do to assist them, to give them guidance, to be a mentor, why not do it? It's just that simple.
Yeah. I love it. It's hard to be angry if you just loving on somebody. So yeah. Okay. So this question, it kind of builds in success and confidence and evolution. And really it is this idea of what is one way that you think you have personally evolved? Like if you were to look and you can milestone it wherever you want, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, right? If you took a snapshot then and you took a snapshot now, what do you think would be different about you and why?
Well, by nature, Lisa, I'm a very reserved person. And some people, I guess they have looked at me over the years, but it's almost like they really didn't know who I was, in the sense of, I used to harbor a lot of, being shy to talk, or, things like that. And I realized that, if I'm going to be successful, I'm going to have to talk. And so that's one of the ways that I've evolved. And of course, working for the company that I was fortunate to work with, they made sure that I had the opportunity. If I wanted to excel, they made sure. And so that could have been like putting me in classes for public speaking, or just different things to bring out those things that they probably knew that I needed really before I knew that I needed them. And so that's really helped me to progress. And do some things that normally I wouldn't have even really I would not have been so comfortable in doing. And when you work for yourself, especially, your job is to sell yourself, number one, but then you get into selling the services and the benefits of your services to potential clients. So, you got to talk. And if you don't talk, then, we know where that ends up at. So yes.
So you have been able to find your voice and to feel more empowered and more just maybe proactive on the communication spectrum if you were to snapshot it.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, do you think that what's the biggest benefit of that have you seen?
Well, as a former loss prevention guy, dealing with uncomfortable conversations, you have to talk to people every day. I'm conducting interviews, and so you really got to get over that. And some things that I was able to do is, again, if I knew that I was coming into a high stakes conversation, I'm getting up early in the morning, doing everything that I can do to, eliminate some of the anxiety about having that difficult conversation, and but also having the confidence within myself, to know that when I get in there, I can get this done. And again, I don't think that I've always had that confidence, but having some training and having mentors that said, Everett, you know what, you can do this. You're not thinking big enough. You can do this.
Yeah.
So that's helped.
Yeah, I love to hear how people have evolved and what feels significant to each person in their evolution, right? And I think communication, obviously I'm extremely biased towards the benefit of good communication, but I love to see that you can look back in the history of your career and in your life and that communication really, and embracing it and being brave with your communication has really been one of the key factors towards your growth and success. So I love that. I'm proud of you. I think that's a challenge that a lot of people watching this and listening to this deal with, is like they have a voice, but they try to like hold it in, or they're afraid of being judged if they use it, or just haven't collected enough positive evidence. Like they haven't seen themselves succeed enough in it yet to really start to feel good. So I love that you're a model. You're a living proof of what speaking boldly and finding your voice and growing your confidence with good communication can do. So you definitely get a gold star from me today for sharing that. Yeah, I love to hear. I mean, I know what a powerful tool good communication is, and to see other people, just know beyond a doubt that it's really been a game changer is like that's the battle cry right there, right? Like use your voice, be brave. People don't judge you as harshly as we think they do. Like we're always, all up in our head trash about it. Like most people are actually relieved when you communicate well because it's less pressure on them. But for whatever reason, we make the mountain higher than it needs to be sometimes, I think. So
right.
Okay. My last question for you: if someone were to meet you really briefly, or if somebody watches 60 seconds of this and then has to go, deal with a kid doing e-learning or some other distraction or pressing matter, what 3 words would you hope someone would use to describe you after meeting you, just even briefly? Like what 3 words, what 3 experiences would you hope to create for people?
Oh, goodness. Caring, I think that is the most important thing, caring. Winning. I love to win, and I love to see other folks win. And then humble. We all need to be humble. And I would hope that, as much success as I've had, that I always remain humble.
Yeah, I love that. I can say, as someone who has experienced you in multiple ways over a long period of time, that those 3 words are very accurate for you. And I think it would be easy, even based on your first impression, that people could easily identify those 3 words about you. So you are showing up, you're walking the walk, and talking, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, and you embody those characteristics very clearly. I don't think anyone could argue with you about that. So good job on being intentional. I'm also a big fan of intentional conversations, creating experiences for people across the screen, or across, on the other side of your face, as I like to say. So I want to know, I could ask you 100 questions, but I won't. You've already been gracious enough with your time. How can people best connect with you further? How can they find out more about you? How can they work with you? What is the best way for people to learn more and stay connected with you, Everett?
Absolutely. So first, I'd like to tell the viewers that they can reach me via email, and that is Everett Stein, the number 1 at gmail.com. EverettStein, the number 1 at gmail.com. I do some consulting with regard to loss prevention and supply chain security. On the other side, we have a speakers bureau, and you can reach us at www.bsaprinc.com. And if you're looking to become a speaker, we would ask that you send us your information, or if you're looking to book a speaker, please reach out and inquire.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll link both of those contact opportunities up in the comments, or the details of the video when we post it here as well, so people can find that easily if they didn't have the opportunity to jot that down, because I sure as heck do not want people to miss you. I have enjoyed working with you and being in the same kind of LP AP space with you, and now as a speaker with your speakers bureau, and it's been fun. It's been fun to see the transition and the excitement that you have for your endeavors. And, hands down, not that people needed 7 questions, but, you definitely are an interesting person. You have a lot to share and so much value to bring. And I just appreciate you taking the time to sit down, and hopefully I didn't stress you out too much, because I do not give people the questions ahead of time, so they are walking in blind. And as somebody who's a professional question asker like Everett is, we like to know what our questions are and what we're walking into. So I appreciate you, Everett, trusting me and showing up open-hearted and open-minded today, and kind of dropping a little bit of your experience with us today. And if you like these interviews, this is part of the 7 Questions for Interesting People series. It's going to be right here on the Lisa Mitchell Expert YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share. Everybody needs a little more interest in their life, and some great lessons and opportunities here to learn too. So like it, share it, subscribe, and we'll keep showing up here for you.